Greetings gastronauts, this is KeefCooks, I'm Keef, and today I'm going to do sausages. Well, actually, minty lamb sausages. So I was asked to do this by Blowin in Ireland, who likes a good sausage, apparently. And also a couple of shout outs. I've got a new Patreon superfan, John the Obtuse. And also a regular fan, Kim Marshall, I don't know. Anyway, this is for you guys and everybody else. So, minty lamb sausages, delicious, let's do it. Right, ingredients for the sausages, I've got half a kilo of fatty minced lamb, that's about 20% fat. I've got 100 grams of rusk, 200 ml of cold water, and a couple of meters of natural hog casing. I've also got a teaspoon and a half of salt for my seasoning mix, 3/4 of a teaspoon of ground black pepper, and half a teaspoon of celery salt. And I'm just going in the garden, back in a minute. And some mint. You can use dried mint, obviously, but we've got tons and tons of this, so yeah, got to use it. Right, and that'll need a good old wash. So first thing you need to do, I've started this, you need to soak your hog casings in cold water for a couple of hours. But if you're using collagen casings, they don't need to be soaked. And you need to soak your rusk in the water. I've got to tell you about the rusk. I made this myself to a recipe by Scott Ree. I'll link to the recipe somewhere. Yeah, Scott is a good lad, and you know, if you've probably heard of him. If you haven't, go and have a look and subscribe and stuff like that. Tell him I sent you, and I don't know, it probably won't give you anything, but now natural hog casings are usually packed in salt, so that's why we soak them. And also you need to rinse through the inside just to get any extra residual salt off it. Okay, get some cold water in the sink, find the end of your intestine, your hog casing, and just thread it over the end of the tap. And giggle like a child, because I love doing this. Even if they didn't need rinsing out, it's so much fun just watching them. and amazing as well how, you know, how that skinny little blur turns into this big fat tube. This is quite large size casing, in fact. It's 32-34, so it'll make like a Cumberland sausage or a jumbo sausage size, which is fine by me. Right, we've had a minor catastrophe. This is my lavalier mic. It's the third one I've had, and it's the third one that's broken. And this is really weird because the end of the stereo jack has broken off, and it's stuck inside the external mic socket on the camera, on the main camera, which I don't know if I'll be able to get that out. So I'm using my Zoom H1 digital audio recorder and its stereo mics, and well, I don't know how that's going to be, and I'm sure you're going to see it in shot a few million times, but there you go. Now, if I was mincing my own meat, I would first of all put it through the mincer on the coarse plate, and then I'd mix everything together and put it through again on the fine plate. But the mince I've got already minced it's pretty fine already, so, oh, it's in the fridge. I'm not going to mince it, I'm just going to mix it, and I'll go straight to stuffing the sausage. So you do want to keep everything as cool as you can for, well, you know, hygiene, and also, you know, if you're trying to mince fat, it needs to be as cold as you can get it without it being frozen. Otherwise, you know, the friction of the mincer will melt it and clog everything up, which is not good. So, big bowl, just hurl everything in. There's the mince. Here's the rusk, which has absorbed all of the water. And in fact, I've got some more cold water standing by, just in case I need it. All of the seasoning, and the mint finely chopped, and mix that all together. In fact, I'm going to use my hands because this ain't working. You know, kind of squeeze it as you mix it. We're trying to get a kind of very smooth, almost, you know, emulsion kind of texture. And when I've made sausages before, I always get people from like Europe saying, "You don't put breadcrumbs. Why do you put breadcrumbs in or rusk?" And it's not actually for cheapness. It's not to extend the amount of kind of meaty goodness. It's for texture, because those bits of rusk will hold on to the fat that's in the mixture, and as we all know, fat is flavour. Right, that's pretty well mixed, so I'm going to wash my hands and stuff those sausages. Okay, so you want to get your sausage casing, your hog casing, just lightly pat it dry. Now the tricky bit, find the end, any end, there we go. So what I always do is tie a knot in one end, easier said than done, and then prick a hole in it with a pin or a cocktail stick or something, and that's just to let the air out as we force the meat in. So now I want to find the other end, which I predict will be here. And we need to thread it onto the stuffing tube. Your mincer or your dedicated sausage stuffer will probably come with a number of different sizes of stuffing tube, so just choose the one that's appropriate for the size of your casing. Now then, let's do it. As it comes through, you want to kind of try and hold on to the extruded sausage so that it fills up the casing. Right, here's our long sausage. So just kind of roll out your sausage, get it as even as you can. I'm going to have a go at doing a sort of butcher's linkage thing, which I've never really done before, so again, this is down to Scott Reed if it goes wrong. I've forgotten what you do. Right, pinch it, twist it, pinch it, twist it, and then measure off the third one, pinch it, twist it, and I can't do this. It's something like you sort of do it something like that, and then you put the whole thing through, but I think these are too fat to actually get away with doing that, so I won't. That's my excuse for not doing it. So it's just twist, twist the other way, twist the other way, because if you keep twisting the same way, you'll untwist the ones you've done previously. So I'm going to tie that end off and then cut it off, cut off the first end. Basically you want to hang these up to dry, so the old butcher's hook. So hang those up in the kitchen for an hour or in the fridge for as long as you like, and once they're kind of more or less dried off, you can eat them. Well, cook them first, obviously. Right, these are pretty dry, so let's grab a couple and fry them up, and then we can eat them. Ooh, yeah. I've got some oil on medium heat, and I'm just going to pop these sausages in. I like it too hot. What I'm aiming to do is cook them for quite a long time on quite a low heat, because I think they might burst otherwise. The things that cause sausages to burst: firstly, too much moisture in the filling. Secondly, too high a temperature, and thirdly, an overstuffed casing. And I think, you know, the third one might get us. It's not the end of the world if they burst, but it's nicer if they don't. I think I did have the oil too hot, because you can see the filling is expanding and it's coming out the ends. Okay, so that's pretty much done, and it's looking great. But yeah, this one has split. Never mind, I won't be sending it back. Right then. Ah, wonderful, wonderful sausages. Oh man. Oh. That was sensational. Really juicy and minty and meaty and sausagey, and I love them. Oh, and I've just got to check. Right, you lot, off you go and make sausages. I'm eating these. I think the juiciness, probably comes from the rusk. When I made sausages before, I've always used breadcrumbs, and they've never been as juicy and luscious as this. So, yeah, learn how to make rusk, make sausages, improve your life. Thank you. And that's that. I hope you enjoyed it. Now please do the usual: likes, shares, comments, subscriptions, donations, patronage, all that good stuff, or just some of it. And thank you for watching, and see you next time.